All praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rucha, Kudash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well and labor in the word and doctrine. Shalom, in peace. May that be into the elect of the nation of Israel. This one is another one, philosophy and vain deceit. You know, we'll call it, it could be an alternate title. If it's streaming on another platform, an alternate title may be New Year's Eve in the Bible. There's a lot of people put emphasis on it, right? I'm going to focus on God this year. I'm going to focus on this year. And really, it's going to be an in transit, as you can probably tell. So there's not going to be scriptures that are perfectly read verbatim. It's going to be paraphrased or quoted. So anyway, New Year's Eve, December the 31st, according to this Julian calendar, which that itself, December, Dec means what? 10, right? Dec means 10. So it's meant to be the 10th month. That's really what December means. But it's not the 10th month, clearly. It's the 12th. November, Nov, like a nonagon, right? 9-sided. Oct, like an octagon, 8 sides, or an octopus, 8 legs. You can keep going on that. Alright, so it's a sept. Alright, just like a septagon. Can't think of any others for that. But there you have it. These are all meant to be, relating to their number, but September is obviously the 9th month of this Julian calendar. So it's bare confusion, but look into the history of how these came to be. It's to understand the mystery, you have to understand the history, as the apostles would say, right? So, that being understood, December the 31st is when it's titled as New Year's Eve, but there's nothing new about January, except for this calendar, obviously. But in terms of a new year, a new life, there's nothing new about it. The new year, realistically, is like March, April time, spring, when things start springing up, when new growth is made, when you have plants that are actually growing up, when things are coming to life, when things are springing up, spring. It's definitely not in, winter or fall, or even summer. When things are, because you have to understand Israel as well as an agricultural people, right? The feast, for example, Feast of First Fruits pertains to it. How Pesach, the Passover, arguably one of the most important holy days. To speak, is that Deuteronomy 16:16, 3 times a year, should all your males appear in one place. Okay, why? Because it's dealing with an agricultural society, the Pesach, right? Where would you be getting the lamb or sheep? Of your flocks. It says that of your flocks. Where your bread, you'd be beating the what do you call them? You'd be beating the vegetables, what they call like corn. You'd be beating it up, making flour, and then going from there. You're not going to your Walmart. You're not going to your Asda, which is the UK counterpart, the parent company, to get your bread, to get your lamb. Today we do, and if you can get it from a farm or your flocks, then beautiful. You're being over righteous to say you must. We are rehearsing the righteous acts. We have to understand the law. We're not going to keep it 100%. But so we strive to do it and pray that through faith it's made whole. Right, so all that being said, we're an agricultural people, right? A lot of our holidays pertain to, tilling of the ground, and that was a man's work. If a man didn't eat, a man shouldn't get bread. That's written. Adam, was dealing with the true nature, not in its defiled state as well. So the true new year is when it springs up. The JJs, we call it Rosh Hashanah, the head of the year. However, that's not written. But the first month, is written about, and that's Ha Pesach, and that also, is a sort of segue or a back segue from the Christmas video, Christmas in the Bible, question mark, when Hamashiach was born around the time of the Pesach, and that clearly is in, you know, the new year, the true New Year's, which is when everything springs up, right? Then you have New Year's Eve, and what do you have that follows it? What do you have that follows it? You have New Year's Day, right, which is known as January the 1st. Getting back into these month names now. January the 1st is the first day of the month in reference of Janus, right, which, look this up, is a pagan Roman deity, which when he's depicted is with a front-facing face and a face out the back also, right, front and back, representing the, you know, the god of doorways, the god of entrances and exits in, you know, pagan Roman philosophy. So in pagan philosophy of, you know, this is the same culture that was going against the children of Israel at the time. So we are not to worship the gods of any nation, but, you know, there should be some emphasis on the fact these are the gods of the enemies of Hamashiach. Right, you can read how they spoke of Hamashiach in a letter of, what's it called now? Seneca. Right, it's an extracurricular one, you know, extra biblical outside of the book, but it's a historical book. You can read how Seneca wrote to, who was it? Seneca wrote on behalf of Pontius Pilate, I believe. I could be getting that completely wrong. But, you know, if you put in those words, those keywords, the book itself will come up. You can validate the facts thereof. I'm not trying to give, you know, any info on that besides, you know, seek out that book if you're interested. The true book is the book of life, but the history, again, you know, is key to understanding the mystery again. And that, you know, which that also gives some history on the Gentiles, the Jews, the Gentiles, how the harsh Judaic brethren of the Jews would be less empathetic or less interested in keeping the Roman games, Roman feasts, or watching the Roman games. You know, some would, but not like their harsh Judaic brethren, proving, you know, there's a separation in the Gentiles and the Jews, and also the Jews wouldn't partake of pagan culture, you know, Gentile culture in that sense, them that were of the faith. Because you got Gentiles that are Israelites, you know, that caught up in a Gentile way, and you've got Gentiles as in non-Israelites, right, heathen, Gawayam. Right, so there's levels to Gentiles, okay? That being said, get back on topic now. So the New Year's Day goes back to Janus, which is a Roman deity of entrances and exits, and that's why you have it on the New Year is in January, because it's new, it's for Janus. And that's why you also have a New Year's resolution, which is nothing else but a codified pledge unto the god Janus, right? It's a pledge unto Janus. You're saying in January, because it's January, so you're referencing the month and reverencing the idol thereof. So because of Janus, it's January now. Alright, so you're acknowledging Janus and you're saying, I'm going to change my behavior because it's January, New Year's resolution. And there's nothing new about it, you know, in reality. On this calendar there is, but in reality there's nothing's spring, nothing's growing, everything's dead. There's no leaves on trees. I'm driving past trees that look dead up. Alright, so there's nothing new. So it's a month dedicated unto the idol Janus, and when you're having a New Year's resolution, it's a pledge unto Janus, right? So it's, to some it may be a light thing, to us it's very important, you know, understanding these things, how these things came about, the culture, the history behind it, you know, because everyone behaves as if, or anyone that does behave as if history has no impact on their life, are the ones that are most tied up to these, you know, these cultural beliefs or these, you know, festivals, feasts, and they'll say, oh, I don't really care about it, you know, but really deep down, it's a deep, deep thing to them. You know, they don't understand the history, so they're left they're left in misery, not understanding the mystery. Excuse me. Gotta have some fun with it, man. Right? So you'll see the people that say, oh, it don't mean anything, you know, I don't care about the history, or, you know, it's not that deep to me. These are the people that are most enthralled by these festivals and feasts. Look up that word, enthrall. You know, to become a slave, captivated. Another one, like, it captivates your attention. It puts your attention in captivity. You know, we're trying to put every thought. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, you know, but spiritual, mighty. The tearing down of strongholds. You know, fighting against spiritual wickedness in high places. And one of them things, it speaks about putting in captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach. So if you're out here trying to make New Year's resolutions or pushing that like it's something for us to be recognizing, worshiping, keeping, you know, you're sadly mistaken. You know, but everyone's not meant to get it. You know, so if you're meant to get it, you may research it, you may go into it a bit. You know, and that's that New Year's and New Year's resolution, and that's heavy in the church as well. You know, there's heavy, you know, Christian church graphics pertaining to that, like, you know, get close to God this new year. Which, if you're truly talking about getting closer to the Heavenly Father, irrespective of the time of year, you know, that's that's a meat thing to aim for. But if you're doing it purely because it's January and it's Janus and you want to do this, because most of them things, you know, people fall off. You know, I'm gonna get in the gym for New Year's. You know, you see a man in the gym for 2 weeks and it starts petering off, as you say. You know, a lot of that shit, you know, it's just, you know, a lot of people break their promises. But breaking your word, you know, is not a good habit. You know, and any vow, any oath like that, you can't be breaking. You know, so realistically, if you want to do a resolution, you know, die daily. You know, have a daily resolution. Try to get better daily. Be more on point daily. You know, be a better servant of the Heavenly Father daily. You know, anything you're doing, do it the best you can. You know, because we're representatives on the earth of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. If we're out here championing the gospel, following it, reading it, living it, breathing it, teaching it. You know, so I'll leave it there. A few words all over the place, so excuse me. But Lord willing, that will be of some use, of edification unto at least someone. So next video, Lord willing, shalom.